the Garry Show, presented by Uncle Ben's Converted Rice.
Thank you, Ken. Now then, I am so glad that you chose this particular day and this particular time to tune into our show, because we're about to see just about the most fascinating thing we have ever presented on our show. Actually, it's a repeat in some measure. We have a gentleman here who visited us last year and gave us at that time the highlight of our show. The subject up for discussion today is hypnotism. Hypnotism, is it real and does it work? I can assure you that the answer to both of those questions is most definitely yes. It is real and it does work. Some of you might have seen in a not too recent issue of Time magazine, it's the issue of February 7th, 1955, there was an article that talked about how they're now using hypnosis down in a Texas hospital, particularly among patients who are suffering from multiple burns. It seems that one of the symptoms of burn patients is that something about them makes them not want to eat. And naturally, their skin cannot graft and become well unless they will eat. And finally, as a last desperate measure, they called in a team of hypnotists to hypnotize these people into eating, and it has just worked wonders. Also, the British newspapers are full of some clippings. Where are my British clippings here? Headline says, the British give doctors okay on hypnosis, and it talks about how they are encouraging their doctors over there to look into it. However, we are not concerned with the medical aspect of it at all today. We are concerned with the demonstration and the explanation of it. And if all goes well, you will see hypnotism work right here on our stage before your very eyes. To do this, we have a gentleman who is undoubtedly the world's foremost authority on hypnotists. Here is Dr. Franz Polgar. Good to see you again, sir.
I'm very happy to be back with you.
Thank you. Now, first of all, let me ask the obvious question, which is this. What is hypnotism to begin with?
Well, if I had a dictionary with me and we would look up the word, it comes actually from Greek hypnos, means sleep. In other words, hypnotism really means the science of sleep. However, the kind of hypnosis I present and deal with is somewhat different from natural sleep. You see, the mind becomes very susceptible for any kind of suggestions. And, you know, we can take advantage of it and help people with various bad habits like excessive smoking, drinking, drug addiction, and many nervous functional disorders may be cured by the means of hypnosis.
You yourself, however, confine your activities to lecturing about it and entertaining with it.
Yes, I'm basically a lecturer presenting this program.
Well, now let me ask you this. Since we all have a subconscious, can everyone be hypnotized?
No, not everybody. It's rather unfortunate, because I feel that if everybody could be hypnotized, hypnotism would be even more important, but for some reason we do not know. Only a certain percentage of people can be hypnotized.
Well, now, granted that the subject is willing, the person is willing, what more is required than just a willingness to be hypnotized?
Well, it's a certain ability, flexibility, and on the part of a subject. A person has to be able to relax, concentrate, and actually control his mind and mental processes.
Well, is susceptibility a sign that a person is weak-willed or mentally low?
No, on the contrary. Now, I feel really, and this is based upon many years of experience, that the best subjects have a somewhat higher intelligent quotient, and we know this in schools, you know, we can investigate.
Well, now, one question I would like to ask, I know,
Yes,
really clean up a fallacy about hypnotism. Can you make, when you have a subject under hypnosis, can you make them do something that is against her or their moral convictions?
Well, I really feel it's a controversial question or aspect, but I feel that a person will not do anything against his moral code. You see, when you are hypnotized, actually it is a subconscious portion of your mind with which I'm in communication. And the subconscious mind would interfere if I would ever ask you to do something against your moral code that might endanger your health and so on.
You would just subconsciously rebel against it?
Well, rebel, or sometimes you might awaken.
Well, now, do you yourself have to observe, or do you observe any rule of code of ethics while you are working with people?
Well, for one thing, I would never embarrass anyone. I would never subject anyone to any situation that may create a adverse condition in him. You know, I really have to be ethical and clean in mind and thinking.
And I should think that probably a good part of selling people on the idea of being hypnotized and making themselves susceptible is that they must trust you and know you to be a person.
Well, that's the first thing. Really, hypnosis is based upon, hypnotism is based upon the proper faith and prestige relation. It's a rather subtle explanation.
Well, now, Dr. Polgar, I'm going to talk about my Uncle Ben's rice, because he's the gentleman who pays the bills around here, and we're very fond of him. And if you will go and get ready for your demonstrations, we'll rejoin you in just a moment, huh?
Thank you very much.
All right, fine. Now, we have got a special... Now then, Dr. Polgar, will you come out on the stage, please? We have several subjects here, friends of ours who work at CBS and among our advertising agencies, who have volunteered to come out here and talk with Dr. Polgar. You folks want to come out here? Just everybody come out here in line. Take your seat and we'll get your names after we start to... Good morning, everybody. Nice to see you. Just take seats, I suppose, right in a row there, huh?
May I sort of take over, perhaps?
Yes.
You stay with me, all right?
I stay here?
Yes,
all right,
stay with
fine.
me.
All right.
Well, thank you very much. Let's get acquainted. What is your name, please?
I'm Angela Sylvester.
Oh, and yours, please?
Ronnie Phillips.
Thank you very much. Just,
Eleanor.
and yours, please?
Mary Addison.
Thank you.
Naomi Ray.
Naomi, thank you.
Eileen Lynch.
Thank you.
Beverly Marcus.
I would like to show you a little story here, first of all, to begin with. I'm sure you will find it quite interesting. Would you come just sort of pass it around, please? I'm sure about that. Just read every word of it, please. Just throw it down. Thank you very much. You see, Garry, this is a rather interesting little story. Perhaps I should not call it a story. It is a message. It takes about 30 seconds to 1 minute to read it. Just about 30 seconds to 1 minute. It's not a long time. I have used it many times before. They always work. They are always effective. And of course, these people are now actually hypnotized. And probably you would ask me, what would, thank you very much, Oda, what put them to sleep? It is a suggestion given in the cards. And now I am talking to you, please. Don't wake up. You're not going to awaken until I will awaken you. And now everybody, extend your arms, both of them, straight out forward. Your arms getting rigid, stiff. You cannot bend your arm or move it. Try to move it, cannot do it until I let you do so. 1, 2, cannot do it, and 3. Cannot do it, try hard, harder, harder, cannot do it. When I snap my finger, your arm will fall down, completely relaxed. Slowly, however, you're not going to hurt yourself. 1, 2, and 3. There you are. And now, would you kindly put your right hand on the top of your head? Your right hand on the top of your head. Your hand now is stuck to your head. You cannot move it. Try. Take it away. Cannot do it. Try harder, harder. When I snap my finger, you can do it. 1, 2, and 3. There you are. You can do it now. And now, listen to me carefully. I am going to awaken in just 1 moment. But I want to tell you just a few things. Later on, when I will ask your name, all the men will say your name is John. All the women will say Irene. The men, John. The women, Irene. Another thing, when I will ask you later on, how much 5 and 5, you will think it is 12. 5 and 5 is 12. And if anybody will say differently, you may be a little bit annoyed about it. And just one more thing. When I touch my tie later on, you're going to yell as loud as you can, hip, hip, hooray, putting your palms in front of your mouth. Wakening now, don't remember anything. Wake up, everybody, and smile. Well, what is your name, please?
Irene.
Oh, and yours?
Irene.
And yours?
Irene.
That's very unusual. And yours, please?
John.
Oh, hello. And yours?
John.
Oh, well, pardon me, Garry, may I just talk to you 1 moment? You know, you've been quizzing people for such a long time. I'm going to do the same thing to you. Would you mind?
No.
Let's say, arithmetic. How much is 2 and 2?
2 and 2 is 4.
You be the judges, please. Right? 7 times 8, sir.
7 times 8 is 56.
Good. And 5 and 5, please?
5 and 5 is 10.
Are you?
No, I'm sorry, 5 and 5 is 10. Oh, it's got to be 5 and 5 is 10.
Look at me, please, one moment. And now you know your name. It's not John, it is not Irene. 5 and 5, of course, is 10. Pardon me, how much is 5 and 5? 10. So why did you say 12? Did you say 12? And your first name, please?
Ronnie.
Ron, did you say John?
Said John just a minute ago.
I tell you, I'm all confused about it. And your name?
Ed.
Am I wrong, or is it? What happened?
Well, he knows it now. It's Ed.
Well,
Dr. Polgar, this is the most fascinating thing. Will you folks not move?
just for a moment, I would like to thank these people for their...
Don't worry about it. We'll come back and explain. We can't stop now. We're going to do another full 15 minutes of demonstrations. I promise you this is absolutely 100,000% completely on the level. And we'll be right back.
A portion of the Gary Moore Show is brought to you by Borden's new Instant Starlight and Borden's Instant Coffee. And here's Gary.
Thank you, Ken. Before we get back to Dr. Polgar, I have a question to ask, which is, does anybody in the audience know the best way to raise good coffee? Here's the answer. With a cup to your lips. And that is exactly where Borden's Instant Coffee belongs, in a cup on its way to your lips, because Borden's tastes just as rich as the best ground coffee you can buy, and there's a special reason why Borden's has that wonderful rich flavor. Of all the coffees in the world, Borden's uses only the choicest, most flavorful premium grade coffee. And only Borden's gives you this premium grade coffee in solid flavor crystals of 100% pure coffee. Premium grade coffee. But there's only one thing you should remember about Borden's good coffee. It comes to you here, but it really belongs here, in the cup. Flavor rich as the best ground coffee. That's Borden's. I'll tell you, we all drink it at our house every day, and we just love it. You will love it too. Borden's Instant Coffee.